Well, hello there, and welcome to the art department. Sit back, and I'll tell you a tale about a student and his guest, a visitor from far, far away. Once upon a time, there was a student who was working late at night on his midterm project for his multimedia class. Adding the final touches to the project was taking longer than he had expected. Finally, around 3 in the morning, 3:40 to be more specific, he threw his arms in the air. He was done. Forgetting to turn off his monitor, he got up from his chair and walked towards his bed. Tired from the many hours of tweening and frame-by-frame animating, the student is fast asleep. His monitor, still on, displayed a small character entering a ship and was about to begin a journey. Suddenly, a loud noise awakened him. It was the sound of someone at the front door. "Who could it be?" said the student to the empty room. Slowly, he got up and headed for the front door. "Who is it?" he yelled at the door as his hand reached for the knob. He then looked through the peephole, but seeing no one, he slowly opened the door. There in front of him was a small figure who did not look like a California resident, but a visitor from far, far away. The visitor, with a charming smile, waved his hand to the student. And the student smiled back. "You're late. We'd better get going." The student, without a moment to lose, stepped outside to lock the door. And then they were off. After several hours of video editing in the computer lab, they both decided to go to the library. There, the student began to catch up on his reading for anthropology class, while the visitor began to catch up on his drawing skills. "Hey, what are you drawing there?" asked the student. The visitor was too focused on his work and could not hear him. The student then asked again, "What are you doing?" The visitor then lifted his small drawing pad and revealed an image. It was a sketch of a Rembrandt, a piece of art that the visitor had admired since his youth. With the mouth wide open, the student could not believe that the small visitor had such an artistic talent. After several art lessons, they both went for a walk and found themselves sitting on a bench where they exchanged ideas and talked about events in their lives. They also talked about transportation. The visitor wanted to experience driving an automobile, and the student wanted to experience flying a ship. After 2 near-accident experiences and a terrifying gravitational pull of a black hole, they both go back to the apartment. "Let's rock out," the student exclaimed as he held his guitar. With the mouth wide open, the visitor stood amazed, looking at the red electric guitar. With a wave of his hand, a transparent control appeared. With the push of 2 buttons, his guitar then appeared into his hands. And then his mighty amplifier appeared. Seconds later, they were both lost and surrounded in the sounds of melodies of the music they enjoyed the most. The time came when the small visitor had to depart and go on to his next journey. At the same place where they first met, they waved to each other and said their goodbyes. The visitor pressed a small button on his forearm and a subtle beeping sound filled the hallway. And then the visitor disappeared. But the beeping sound got louder and louder, and the student woke up. He then stood up, and on his monitor there was a small red ship that was on its way to a new journey.